All right, we're going to go ahead and get started tonight. I am so very excited. First of all, I'm excited because there are so many people on here tonight, and one of which is my precious baby girl. I am so proud of AbbyJo and Hilderbrand. As most of you know, if you are on our Plexus family, and I'm certain that you are, you saw that she went Emerald this week. I actually didn't plan on doing that. Sorry, Abby. This is a dream, guys. It's a dream that just has absolutely come true. It is so amazing. You know, it was one thing whenever I went Emerald, and then Terry went Emerald, but for your baby to go Emerald, that is amazing, absolutely amazing. When we have so many people on our team that are so close, that I can't tell you how excited I am for each and every one of them. And I promise you, I'll cry for all of them. I know I will, because it's just so exciting. But tonight, what AbbyJo, what I've asked her to do is ask her to kind of share with us some tips that, and some things that she has done. First of all, what I want to say is every single solitary person is different. And because everybody's different, you can't just pick up only what AbbyJo has done and take it. You can't just pick up only what Terry and I have done and run with it, or what anyone has done and run with it. You've got to make it personal. You have to make it yours. And when you make it yours, what happens is you can run with it and you can take it. And then it's just like AbbyJo. When her daddy was getting ready to get his Lexus, he told AbbyJo, he said, why don't you just come on and you pick it out and you can drive it. And what she said she said, no, Dad, I want to earn my own. Well, sister, you've earned your own. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to the precious AbbyJo Hilderbrand. Let me mute myself, sissy. I love you.
Okay, well, you were super glitchy, so I didn't hear anything you just said, but thank you for the awesome introduction. I'm sure it was wonderful. Yeah, I'm AbbyJo Hilderbrand, and I am Emerald Ambassador with Plexus. That's the first time I got to say that, so I'm pretty proud. Okay, I guess since I went Emerald, it was shared a lot because I'm 22, the youngest Emerald, and I've gotten a lot of messages from people that you know, have young people on their team, or just in general that just want to know how I did it, or, you know, what did I do to get to Emerald. And I've heard the beginning of what Mom was saying, and she's right with, you can't just do everything I did and expect it to work the same for you, because just like the Plexus products work differently for every single one of us, the business works differently for every single one of us as well. So you can't just post on Facebook every day like Lori Harrison did and get to Diamond. Maybe that's not going to work for you. You know, maybe it's whatever. You just got to find your niche. So I would encourage you first and foremost to get on and find as many videos as you can find, get on as many calls as you can find with different people on there, and find what kind of clicks with you and what you resonate with, that, oh yeah, I can do that. And the very most important thing is to get out of your box. One of my messages was from a high school friend this week, and she said, how did you do it? She's not in Plexus at all, but she has talked to me. I've talked to her a little bit about it before. And I said, all I did was got out of my box a little bit and shared the products and the business, and I was passionate about it. And I said, are you ready to join me? And she said, well, I don't really get out of my box. And I said, oh girl, nothing great came from inside of your box. And I believe that 110%, because if you are staying inside of your box, then you're not going to, you're not going to get the full benefit of what plexus can give you or anything. You know, it's not super comfortable to go, I don't know, with anything in life. Change isn't always what it feels good to everybody, but it also, that's always what gets to better circumstances. So, one of my biggest things that I am so passionate about besides plexus is affirmations. I believe in the law of attraction. I believe in pretty much everything that goes with it. If you will search on YouTube what every billionaire knows, it's a picture of an airplane, and it is Earl Nightingale, and it's about 30 or 45 minutes long, but it is one of the best videos that I've ever listened to in my life, and that has really, really helped me. And The Secret on Netflix, I'm sure it's other places too, but it's called The Secret, and that is a great video to watch too. So affirmations was huge. Whenever at the beginning of the month, I was kind of talking to everybody that, that I wanted to do it, and Sonia Dudley helped me with some affirmations, and some of these are what she gave me, and some of these are what I made up on my own, but these every single day for the entire month of July. Number one was, it feels so awesome to win my free Lexus and win the trip to Maui on or before July 31st with ease and no stress. Number two was, it is so exciting to attract excited new people all month long with ease. Number three, it is so fun to see even moms get active and excited this month. Number four was, I am so excited to see and talk to Sonia, Michelle, and Tim, Sarah, Lori, and Jetty, and Helen and Maui this year. And the last one was, I love having unexpected miracles happen every day. And with the exception of two of them, I'm going to continue to say the other three every single day, because I love having unexpected miracles happen every day. What I noticed with just that one was I started looking for the miracles to happen every day. I started getting ambassadors that hadn't gotten their own ambassadors yet, and they started getting ambassadors last month. I saw just unexpected miracles happen every single day, and it wasn't necessarily with plexus, but a lot of them were with plexus. So just affirmations are amazing. Anything that you want to see in your life, then if you can think it, if you can see it, then you can have it. So if you're wanting emerald, then that's another thing that I did. I had two pictures from Maui last year that I took on my phone, and I printed them off, and I put them on beside my computer. And now, gosh, oh no, spilling water on my computer. Cool. Sorry. Okay. Now this month I took them down, but this month I have, oh, don't look at that, Missy. If you can see my mom right there, that's a picture of my mom, and there's a sapphire right in front of that. She don't know it yet, but she's going sapphire this month. So that is why that is there, because I went ahead and decided that for her. So anyway, affirmations are huge. The pictures, I like that because every time I sat at my computer, I saw the pictures of Maui, and I saw that I knew that I wanted that. And every time I thought about that, I thought about the affirmations. Every time I did that, I said it out loud. So that is a really, really big one. I could talk a lot about that. The next one, I had a lady message me asking what I did. A lot of them asked that, but I kind of typed up an answer real quick, and I had sent it before I even really thought about what I was saying, because she said that she has a lot of college-age kids, but they don't feel like they can talk to their college-aged friends because they feel like they don't have the money. Well, the funny thing about college students is they find money for alcohol. They find money for brand name clothing. They find money for books. They find money for the important things. So that's not a valid excuse. They can probably find the money for plexus. And if not, they can't find it, they can make it with plexus, right? So that is kind of a side note. There's always an excuse for everything until you don't want there to be. So, but the most important thing that I can say is not to wait for the stars to align. I think with my business, as it's gone, there's always been something that I know that I need to do, but that usually I don't want to do. So every time I think about something with plexus, or it'll come like once a week into my head, it'll pop into my head, and I'll think, I really need to do that. And then I'll think, I really don't want to do that. I think we all usually have something like that. So go ahead and just take a minute and really, really think about that. If you don't know it right now, if whatever I said, that if something didn't pop into your head, really think about it for a little bit and write it down and put like next week's date on it and get it done by next week, because those are really important building blocks in your business. Because every time that I finally stepped up to do whatever it was like I went up that much higher. And if nothing else, I just built confidence in myself that I can trust myself to know the right things to do. So the stars aren't going to align. It's not going to be easy. It's always awkward the first couple times you talk to someone about the business, or the first couple times you do a meeting, because we're not all perfect speakers. I'm not. So don't wait for everything to be just perfect before you talk, because that could be the biggest hindrance in your business that there is, because you're waiting on something. Don't wait for your own testimony. Don't wait for whatever. Go out there, start talking about these products. If you're passionate about the products, and if you're not, go read testimonies, and you will be. Get passionate about the products. Get passionate about the business. And if you need passion for the business, I mean, look at my story, mom's story, dad's story, anyone's story that's been successful with the business. And I mean, it's just impossible to me to not have the passion about that. So if you are confident in yourself, you are confident in the business, you're confident in the products, people are going to see that. And so they're going to start being drawn to you. And if you don't feel like people are listening to you, then maybe that needs to be an affirmation. So that is another one of the biggest things. Be confident in yourself enough to do it. And don't wait for everything to be perfect before you talk. Following up, we've probably talked a lot about this, but find something that works for you to follow up with. Everyone knows that following up needs to happen, so do it. Something that I've done is I went through my back office with all of my customers, and I printed off in the month of, I did this in June. In the month of June, I went and printed off every customer that had ordered that month. And I have it in a notebook here. And I wrote down when I emailed them, whether they responded, what they said, just short little notes, so that I have that and I can do that every month. That's something that I don't love to do, but I do it because that's what needs to be done. If you don't follow up, you're going to lose your people. That's with ambassadors too. So if you're not following up, then people are going to dwindle and you're going to wonder why. So follow up. Facebook is a big thing. Posts, feel like we've beaten a dead horse with this, but make your posts personal. If you are posting salesy posts and you're just sharing every picture that you can find I don't mean testimony pictures. I mean a picture of, this is one that I did a couple of Christmases ago. It was a picture of Santa Claus, and it was something really cheesy, but I was like, yeah, that's going to get people. And I posted it, and it didn't really get anybody because they knew that they were being sold to, so they weren't going to respond. So don't be like that. Be personal with something that's happened with you or your family or business, whatever. It can be short, it can be long. The shorter ones are probably going to get read more, but the long ones sometimes are more impactful for the people that do read them. So maybe mix it up a little bit. I had something I was going to say, but I forgot. So don't make it too difficult. I mean, it happens. If this is what you want, then it will happen, and you can take it as far as you want. So that was really quick. I feel like, what time is it? Yeah. So yeah.
Sorry. We're in a hotel room. Grandbabies are. Abby, mute yourself for just a second, and maybe we won't get feedback. The part about this that I think is really cool is the fact that everything that AbbyJo says to you and has said to you tonight, you can go to any of the jewels and they're going to tell you a lot of the same stuff. I know that, like AbbyJo said, I feel like we've beat a dead horse. Guys, the reason that we say it over and over and over again is because it is important.
And if it wasn't important, we wouldn't say those things. But it is very important. And I know a lot of it is, yeah, it seems like the same stuff. But hey, it got her to Emerald, right, Abby? Okay, what I would like to do now is does anyone have any questions for AbbyJo? If you have any questions, let's do that. And look at that face, that beautiful face she's got right there. She's thinking, uh-oh, now what? So if anybody wants to raise their hand or unmute yourself, you're more than welcome to do that. No? Nobody has a question? Do you have a question? Oh, I have a question for my room. Okay, hold on one second.
So when are you getting your Lexus? It's got to have a back seat it's got to be able to hold a car. When do you get it?
Thank you for your question. That is very much appreciated. I'm getting on Friday. And they all have back seats, so that's a plus. That's going to happen.
Back seat.
Okay, now do it again.
It's got to have a big back seat. So.
Are you trying to influence which one I pick?
I mean, if you want help.
If you would like to come, you can. Anyone that wants to come, I'm going on Friday to the Lexus dealership of Tulsa.
And she muted herself. All right, and here's one of the grandbabies. Okay.
AbbyJo,
Here we go.
Yes?
this is Catherine. Congratulations, Abby.
Thank you very much.
I do have one question for you, though. Would you say the majority of your people came from Facebook or mouth-to-mouth, face-to-face?
The majority of my people came from Facebook. I actually was talking to someone about this the other day, and they were asking me if a lot of my good friends were ambassadors, and I said no. I have a couple of really close friends that, like one that I went to X-ray school with, besides Janaea, Rachel, she was on here, and Amanda, she's a really good friend of mine, but most of them that I have messaged are like acquaintances, but most of them are from Facebook. And like I said, one of my affirmations were people come to me. I don't have to struggle to find people. They search me out, and it happened. So I have, I guess the answer would be Facebook. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
You are very welcome.
So whenever they've been friends with you on Facebook, or have you read some of the posts? And because the truth is, we have answers for a lot of people in the products that we have. So have most of them been people that have messaged you, or have you messaged them?
A little bit of both. Most of them have messaged me, but I have messaged people because for them, especially the ones that say something about migraines, because I know how that feels. So that really resonates with me. So if I see something like that, I'm going to message you and say, listen, you need Plexus. And so I have messaged some of them. Most of them have messaged me from my Facebook post, though, again, because of the affirmations. And so yeah.
This is Denise. I have a question. Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, congratulations, and God love you, precious, and your mama and daddy. And Melissa, you didn't have to cry, because then I did. But having said that, my question is, I'm sorry. I'm just so happy for you. Okay. You represent, when you were talking about college students, high school students, etc. You're on the young end of the process, and I represent an older crowd, if you will, because I'm 63. I have a good rapport with younger people, but I'm not in any of their niches. Okay, what I have found is that the older people, and I don't want to say put them in a classification like that because I love them all, every age, but they tend to be more conservative financially, like, well, I want to do this, but that costs so much, and like you said, they find money to go out and party or whatever. Forget the exact terms you said. But in my case, I'm finding it difficult to speak with. Okay, when I talk to some younger people like waitresses and nurses and etc., they, oh, yes. Well, then I go back immediately, like 3 days later, and then it's, well, and it's probably like you said, they find other ways to do their money. But I'm finding it with the other end, it's tough. I would like your suggestions, because it's tough on the other end of age because of, well, any age's lack of money, but a lot of people are on just disability or just have retired, and they go, well, I got to see what my retirement fund's going to be, you know, that kind of thing. What are your suggestions? That I've made this a terribly long way of explaining it, and I apologize for that, and God bless you.
No, that's okay. So your questions are for just for anybody that has that money is an issue for?
Yes, it's kind of that. And then how do you approach the older crowd, being from the younger crowd, if you will?
Okay. Being the younger, I'll talk about that one first. Being younger, approaching older people is it can be very intimidating, and it has been at one point for me. I'm sorry. My dog's not shut up. Bella is barking, mom's dog. Anyway, so with the older people, I think it has a lot to do with confidence, because I've noticed that whenever I go talking to people, and this might not be the answer that you were wanting, but as a younger person talking to older people, if I'm not super confident in what I'm saying, and I'm not super confident just in me, myself, then I notice that they're instantly shutting down, and they instantly don't trust me or whatever. Hi, Cameron. And, but if, I don't know, that's probably the biggest thing. My dogs are getting in trouble. Let me regroup here for a second. And then for the money thing, I don't know. There's always an excuse for everything, and money is the quickest excuse for people to go to because it's just the most used. So if you maybe turn it around and say, well, how much would you be willing to give? How much would you be willing to invest in your health this month? Or how much would you be willing to invest in your business this month? What if you could make an extra $200 a month over your Plexus products? What if you could, and turn it around and ask a lot of questions, like kind of like that, then you get to see what the root problem is. Because usually the first instinct or first thing that they throw back at you with being money isn't the problem. Usually it's, they don't think maybe they'll work for them, or, something like that. Because honestly, with the 60-day money back guarantee, they don't really have any holdups, but they want to find something. So usually it's something deeper than that. So if you keep asking questions, then instead of just trying to overload them with information, well, we have a 60-day money back guarantee and the products really, really work, and there's a business side, instead of puking on them, instead of then asking questions and that kind of thing, then that usually gets it. So I hope
that totally answers my question, sweetheart. That totally answers my question. And I have to watch that because I say sweetheart and stuff, and raised by a Southern mother. But so I notice that sometimes when I talk to a younger person, and I don't want to make this age specific, but in some ways it is, because when I talk to a younger person sometimes, I think it is confidence, younger or older, but you can't do a lot of hun and sweetheart up here in Omaha. It's a totally different world. I'm from southern Kansas, so. But I do need to be more confident, and I bless you for sharing. And you totally answered my question. And I wish you the best, and I wish your mama to be sapphire by the end of the month.
Well, thank you so much. I'm really glad that answered your question.
Yes, it did.
Thank you, Denise, so much. Okay, Rachel.
You're welcome.
She had raised her hand. Okay, you're unmuted now.
Okay, I just wanted to say, I just kind of jumped in with Denise's. Sorry, I was talking to potential. One thing that I wanted to say is talking to people. I agree with AbbyJo. You do have to step out of your comfort zone. I've been sharing Plexus for a long time now, and I feel I'm sharing my whole heart and my whole story, and people want to listen when they want to listen. So it's kind of, you can only say so much, but the second they want to take that health journey and change their lives, they will do it. Sometimes it takes a week, sometimes it takes a few months, but I believe that people are watching what you post, they see you, and if they kind of push you off or say, no, I don't have the money or it's not for me, they will come back. I have had people time and time again come back and say, well, I'm very interested, but this is going on. And I just say, it's here. You just let me know and I'll fill you in when you're, have the funds or whatnot. So that's just my little input I wanted to say.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Rachel. All right. Anyone else? AbbyJo, do we still have you? Oh, someone has
Hello?
one.
Okay.
Yes.
It's Daniel McGuire. I want to know what was your hardest or the hardest part of your journey to Emerald, AbbyJo?
That's a loaded question. Honestly,
Sorry.
no,
I apologize. I didn't mean it to be loaded.
no, that's okay. I think the hardest part for me was, it was a mind game for me, because the hardest part was deciding that I was going to do this no matter what, and that I was going to make it, because I'll be honest, I have a really strong leg, and I kind of rode on their coattails for a while because they were going like up and beyond, and so I just was kind of like, okay, cool. But it didn't really hit me until they ranked up before I did, because I didn't have the points outside my primary leg. Hey, Gable. And but it really hit me then that this is something that I'm going to have to decide to do for myself, because I can't just ride on other people for the duration of my Plexus business. So that was probably the hardest thing for me to realize, because I knew I'm one that once I'm in. So I knew once I made that commitment that it was going to be work. So making that commitment was probably the hardest part. And then being dedicated to personal growth and development, and making myself read books and making myself watch the videos, because it's all there. And Mom's right. All the information is pretty much the same across the board. And Rachel's right. You're not ready. Even as an ambassador, you're not ready until you're ready. So you can listen to the exact same call for 10 times, and then one time you're like, oh, I get it. So making the commitment to do that and to build my business no matter what was probably the hardest.
All right. Thank you very much. That was helpful. It really was.
Okay.
Awesome. I think that AbbyJo's talked a lot about the positive affirmations, and I think I don't think there's a person on this call or on this team or in this company or actually in this world that cannot benefit by those positive affirmations. You know, the Bible tells us that salt water and good water cannot flow out of the same spout. And, you know, when we're speaking those positive things, the negative things can't come out at the same time. And it's a mind change. And as it is a mind change, and as it, both of these kids are here saying hi to AbbyJo. They're rooting her on too. As we change our mind, that's how everything else changes in us. And that's why we can listen to the same thing over and over and over again. And the one time when we're right, when we have it all, and we're not going to have it all together, but when everything lines up in here and here, then it all clicks. So I think that's huge, AbbyJo, and I definitely appreciate you sharing those things too. So anyone
She's pointing to her head and her heart for the people that can't see her. When it aligns in your head and your heart at the same time, that's what she was pointing to. And by the way, I commend every single one of you that come to these and listen to the Zoom calls and the trainings, because that is a big step, because it's very easy to not tune in and just to not listen to them and to do anything else, you know, sit and watch TV. But so this is a big step, and I know that you guys are committed, and I am so excited because I can see jewels in every single one of you, and I want you guys to know that, because you can do it. And this isn't something for just the fortunate. That is my favorite part about this company. It's not just for the select few. You don't have to go to college for 8 years before you can do this. You don't have to be any certain person. You just be passionate about the products, and then the income starts coming to you. So this is very doable for everybody. So the biggest mistake that you could make is quit. And that is the only mistake, as far as I'm concerned, there is, because we will make mistakes and we will learn from them. And as long as you're not going to quit, as long as you've made that up in your mind, you will get there. We've always said, what if it takes you 10 years? What if it takes you 10 years to get to Emerald? Would you wait 10 years to make 6 figures? Yeah, easily. So, you know, just keep that in mind, and don't quit. That came out of nowhere. So, yeah.
It's for somebody then. Absolutely. So then you mean you have some white lines in your back office?
Oh, yes. I have a lot of lovely white lines in my back office. And it is not the end of the world if you lose a customer or an ambassador. Mom used to cry her head off when she saw somebody. And it's really not that big of a deal, because Rachel's right. A lot of times they'll come back, whether they bought or they don't buy. I just had an ambassador this week that decided she wasn't going to do it anymore. She quit for a week and she came right back because she could feel the difference. She didn't feel good or not on the products. So that is another thing. It's not a big deal. Always go out. Don't rely on 3 people to do everything. Keep going out and keep building yourself.
Perfect. All right. If we don't have any other questions, and I don't see anyone else's hands raised, AbbyJo, once again, thank you so very much. I love these Zoom meetings, guys, because we can be all over and still be together. So, I'm going to stop the recording.